Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Welcoming to the stage, Daper Investment Fund past president, Steve Krause.
Well, there is a light here. That's terrific. I'll actually be able to see my notes. So welcome, everyone. I'm delighted to be here, standing in for the current president, Maha Ibrahim, who is terrific. And I want to honor her service as the president of the Daper Investment Fund, and she's done a great job there. But for those of you who don't know what the Daper Investment Fund, or DIF, is, it was founded in 1982 from a couple of Stanford alums, and its purpose was to assure the future success of Stanford athletics. And I must say, Stanford athletics has done a fine job all on its own, because of all of you in the room here, but I think we've had a little hand to play at certain times. So the creation of DIF was a response to the circumstances of the time, which was 1982-83. And what I would say, to quote, they have been fortunate in maintaining a successful, self-sustaining, broad-based program in intercollegiate athletics. This has been increasingly difficult over the past 7 and 8 years of high inflation. This was the reason, and a quote from why the Daper Investment Fund was created in 1982. Sounds a little bit like times that we're in right now, doesn't it? So at the time, the department operated on a $12 million budget. I don't even want to tell you what the budget is today as a multiple of that, but it's double digits. So during a period of tremendous change and uncertainty and opportunity in college athletics, the Daper Investment Fund has been uniquely Stanford kind of response to a community of supporters for all of our athletes. And they're well represented in the audience today, along with their family and their parents. And I always want to give a call out to the parents and the family, because without them, none of this would be possible. So DIF has played a crucial role in helping Stanford Athletics achieve its goal of supporting our student athletes across all 36 sports. Many of you remember the battle for the 36 sports. And today our commitment is even stronger. From an initial contribution from the founders of the Daper Athletic Fund, which included Frank Lodato and my former partner at US Venture Partners, Bill Bowes, it was a $7 million contribution. DIF has contributed out of that little seed money $194 million to the department, and we retain at the moment a net asset value of about $114 million. To continue our mandate, we intend to double and triple that over the next few years, and I think we have a few of the Daper Investment Fund representatives in the audience. So Dane, I'm calling you out. You got to improve that IRR and return on the Lodato Fund. What has it done? Well, some of the things it's done were the rebuild of Stanford Stadium, Maples renovations, the home of champions, the softball stadium, field hockey stadium renovations, Kagan Field, and the Hall of Fame ceremony is paid for by the Daper Investment Fund. There are 64 members of DIF. 2/3 of the members are venture members. I am one of them. And we bring our deals to Stanford, and Stanford uses its money to invest a little bit in our Series A deals. And 1/3 are private equity side on the Ford Fund. And we have a little bit of competition now and then between Lodato and Ford. And I won't tell you who's winning right now. I'll let the various members, I hear a call out there for one of those members. So the fund has returned on the seed investments 44x. For those of you who know what private equity is like, that's pretty good. And it's across about 45% in venture, about 25% in the Ford Fund, and then the remainder is in public equities. It's invested in over 400 portfolio companies. And on an ongoing basis, I would say that the private portfolio returns of both Lodato and of the Ford Fund have outperformed most years their respective benchmarks. So during the period of intense change in college athletics of late, the Daper Investment Fund has served as an invaluable contributor, and all of this continues to keep the supporters of the fund coming up with new ideas. So recently, last couple of years, we got $6 million out of DIF to try and get all athletes endowed on an ongoing basis. So it's a small goal, but we fully intend to endow at some point at least all of the sports that aren't self-sustaining. In addition, Daper has taken on an enhanced level of contribution alongside the university in support of Stanford Athletics program, and over just the last 3 years, DIF has contributed $44.6 million to the athletic department. So that's the end of my little commercial for DIF. And today and now, we're going to honor the achievements of the Stanford athletes, because they're really the winners today, and I am in awe of all of you. So, big hand to them.
Next, welcoming to the stage, Jaquish and Kenninger, Director and Chair of Athletics, John Donahoe.
Thank you, Steve. So I'm in my third week here. I'm a complete rookie. I will tell you that I feel so honored and so inspired to be here. I have never worked in an environment throughout my career that is as inspiring as Stanford Athletics is. I get up each morning pinching myself, seeing the athletes, seeing our coaches, seeing so many. And so I just can't tell you how happy I am to be here. I will also tell you that all week long, people have been saying to me, do you know what's going on Friday night? It's one of the best nights of the year. It's one of the most special, moving nights of the year. And so I am so excited to be here tonight and kick this off. You know, for the last 134 years, Stanford athletes have been among the greatest athletes in the world, right? Winning league championships, national championships, Olympic medals, world championships. And tonight we get to honor the very best of the best. Now, I know the lights are down, but how many, can we ask current members of the Stanford Hall of Fame, Athletics Hall of Fame, to please stand up? I don't know if we can turn the lights on. What an honor to be in the midst of such greatness. And tonight we get to add 10 more inductees to the Hall of Fame. And this year's honorees are extraordinary in so many ways. Not only did they inspire us on their field of play, but they've also inspired us through their academic achievements, how they've contributed to the world and to our society since, and you're going to get to hear some of their stories. Several have come back and coached our teams directly and indirectly. All of them have been important ambassadors for Stanford Athletics, both here and around the world. And so, without further ado, let's get started to hear about this year's inductees. And to do that, I'm going to invite up our very own Troy Clardy, who, as you know, is the voice of Stanford football and men's basketball. Troy is our MC tonight, so please join me in welcoming Troy.
One more time for John Donahoe. How about that? John, you and I can discuss having the hot tub and the carving station installed in the home radio booth at Stanford Stadium. We can talk about that a bit later on. Hey, it's great to be back here. How you guys doing? I like it. I like it. Once again, I'm glad they brought me back because much like John, this is one of my favorite nights of the entire year. So much fun to be a part of this, and obviously with this incredible Hall of Fame class, to be able to be a part of their ceremony is truly, truly awesome. That's pretty much the only adjective I can think of right now to really sum that up. And kind of along those lines, about a month or so ago, I found myself in a place called Canton, Ohio. And it was my third time there, but I had not had a chance to walk inside the Hall of Fame Museum itself until this time around. So I walk in, check some things out. Exhibits are great. You know, they do a fantastic job. You know, the memorabilia, all those sorts of things. Fantastic museum. Then you walk into the gallery. That's the room where the busts of all the Hall of Fame inductees are. You walk into that room, and it's just you and greatness. It's like, whoa, this is cool. I ended up going back to that room like 2 more times. I circled back and walked in to the gallery just to be a part of it, just to recognize and just to try to soak it all in as much as I could. Saw Bill Walsh and his bust. Saw James Lofton and his bust. Next time I walk in that building, I better see Jim Plunkett and his bust in there. That needs to happen. But you know what? That's what tonight is like. Being in the same room with all the greatness, except all the busts are alive. You can talk to them. You can hear their stories. You're going to hear 10 of their stories here this evening. And this class certainly is accomplished as any. Look, you can't just roll out of bed and be a Stanford student athlete, right? You know, there's a lot that goes into it. And to be a Hall of Famer at the end of it all, it's powerful stuff, man. It's powerful stuff. And whether it's clinching a national championship with seconds to go, whether it's taking the field at the Rose Bowl, whether it's cutting down the nets, whether it's being on the gold medal stand, on the podium with the national anthem playing, all of these inductees have more than earned their place in the room of greatness that is the Stanford Athletics Hall of Fame. And the beauty of tonight is that we get to celebrate it. We get to celebrate Stanford Athletics. We get to celebrate these inductees. We get to celebrate their stories. They may have made it look easy for the most part in the field of competition, but I guarantee you, a lot of it wasn't. And I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of those stories here this evening. We get to celebrate all of their stories, both on the farm and ongoing. Stories aren't over yet. And we also get to celebrate them as human beings. That's why it's one of my favorite nights of the year, and it's an honor to be a part of it once again for a 3rd year. And hopefully they bring me back again next year at the very least. I hope so anyway. It'll depend if I get that carving station and hot tub in the home radio booth. We'll discuss that again. A couple of notes here. Among the most notable achievements of this particular class of 2025, 2 inductees were members of an NCAA championship team. 5 inductees were honored as their sport's National Player of the Year. 6 inductees led their team to a conference championship, while 5 were named their conference's Player of the Year. All 10 inductees were honored as All-Americans, combining for 30 individual honors overall. And 5 inductees were honored as their sport's National Player of the Year. As a quick reminder, for those of you who are sticklers for rules and all those sorts of things and criterion, this is Stanford. I know there are some of you out there in the crowd right now. Student athletes are eligible for induction 10 years after their final competition season. The selection process prioritizes collegiate individual and team athletic success and scholastic achievement, in addition to professional career honors, while considering character, representation of Stanford University, and contributions to sport and society, which all of these inductees meet all of that criterion above and beyond and over the top of the charts. Oh, by the way, inductees must also attend the ceremony in person. After tonight's ceremony, the Stanford Athletics Hall of Fame will officially include 490 individuals. So that is a much greatness in that class. That's good to see. We're going to open tonight's ceremony and begin with Stanford women's tennis. Erin Burdette will be first up. She's the oldest of 3 sisters to star for the Cardinal. She was a stabilizing force in the lineup who built a reputation for clutch postseason performances. Not only was she on 3 NCAA championship teams, she also provided the clinching point in all 3 of those NCAA title matches, including the final 2 in Athens, Georgia, less than 80 miles from her hometown. She helped lead the way for some absolutely dominant teams. 56 combined wins over back-to-back undefeated seasons as a junior and as a senior. And that kickstarted a winning streak that went 89 straight matches. That's a lot of tennis, folks. 6-time ITA All-American, honored in both singles and doubles during her first 2 seasons, teamed up with Alice Barnes to win the 2005 NCAA doubles crown. 2-time ITA National Doubles Team of the Year honoree, helping her team to 4 Pac-10 team championships, 2-time Pac-10 Doubles Team of the Year recipient, and after all that, she came back to campus and served as the program's volunteer assistant coach from 2015 to 2021, leading Stanford to 3 more NCAA titles as a member of Lily Faroud's staff. Erin is the 20th Hall of Fame inductee from women's tennis, following Nicole Gibbs in 2023. Please welcome Erin Burdette.
Good evening, everyone. I want to begin by thanking the athletic department and Stanford University for this incredible honor. To be listed for these other amazing athletes tonight is beyond thrilling and honestly a little mind-boggling. When I first heard I was selected for the Hall of Fame, it sparked a lot of reflection on my tennis journey and my time at Stanford. For the past several weeks, anytime I was in the car, I'd find myself replaying memories. And in true form, many of those drives ended with tears, happy tears. Even after all these years, I still find myself asking, did we really do that? Being a part of 6 national team titles, 2 runner-up finishes, and a doubles title, it's incredible. But the truth is, those aren't the first memories that come to mind. What I remember most are the van rides, the team dinners, and the dark, cold, sweaty bike rides back to the dorms after practice. Those moments of connection with my teammates and players are what made my Stanford experience so special. To all my teammates, thank you for inspiring me on the court and in the classroom. Honestly, I don't know if I would have graduated without you. I love keeping in touch through our group chats, whether it's the latest tennis gossip, trash talking about our fantasy teams, or just everyday life. A special thanks to my doubles partner and friend, Lauren Barnico, for steering me towards Stanford from the beginning. To my seniors, Lauren Calveria, Gabby Lastra, and Keiko Takuda, thanks for bringing me into the fold and showing us freshmen how to take care of business. And to Alice Barnes, thank you for your unwavering belief in us as a doubles team, and at NCAA's for covering all the lobs when my shoulder was held together with a lot of tape and a cortisone shot. There are so many people who have supported me along the way. First, my parents, thank you for giving me the chance to pursue my tennis dreams, and for supporting my decision to move across the country when I could have chosen a school much closer to home. And to my junior coaches who always supported me on and off the court, thank you. To the coaches, Lily Faroud and Frankie Brennan, thank you for taking a chance on a player from Georgia. Lily, you are a true legend, head coach for 24 seasons, winning 10 national championships, and probably most importantly, a trailblazer proving that women can succeed at the very highest levels of coaching. Frankie, even though you're not here tonight, thank you for your energy, your words that always push me further, and for being both a coach and an extra big brother. I also want to recognize my volunteer coaches, Meredith McGrath and Brian Ramirez, who gave so generously of their time. And to all the trainers, doctors, and physical therapists who kept my very finicky body going, thank you. Stanford tennis became even more special to me because my 2 younger sisters became Cardinal. Notice I didn't say they followed me. Watching their matches was sometimes gut-wrenching, but seeing them experience Stanford in their own way was so special, and it prepared me for my next chapter, coaching. From 2015 to 2021, I had the privilege of serving as the volunteer coach. Experiencing college tennis from the other side and figuring out how to support players on and off the court gave me an even deeper appreciation of how transformative these years can be. I remember 2016 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when the team went into NCAAs as the 15th seed and they pulled out another championship. Caroline Lample, Melissa Lord, Carol Zhao, and all of those ladies have a special place in my heart. One memory that still carries me today is in 2004, thanks to Peter and Helen Bing, our team was able to take a once-in-a-lifetime international trip. One evening at dinner, Helen gave each of us a card that simply said, "Aren't we lucky?" I still have that card in my wallet, and every time I come across it, I smile, because that phrase sums up exactly how I feel tonight. Aren't we lucky? I know I am, to have created unforgettable memories and relationships with teammates and players, to have a family, coaches, and a community who invested in me, supported me, and shaped me as a person, and to be able to celebrate these accomplishments surrounded by many of those people tonight. I am deeply grateful, honored, and humbled to be here tonight. Thank you.
One more time for Erin Burdette, everyone. Aren't we lucky? We move on, and let's get a little softball representation in the building. Sarah Beeson Andersen. Stanford softball, of course, has gone back to Oklahoma City over the last couple of years, my own hometown. It's been great to see. And Sarah was one of those who paved the way for Stanford's original runs to the Women's College World Series 24 years ago. She led the Cardinal to 183 wins over 4 seasons, including a program best 54 victories in 2001. Stanford made its first NCAA Women's College World Series that year and placed in the semifinals. Sarah's a 3-time NFCA All-American. She's one of only 5 players in school history to earn All-America status in at least 3 seasons, including first-team honors in 2001. 4-time All-Pac-10 selection, including first-team accolades in her 2 final seasons. She's the school record holder in career putouts while ranking 2nd all-time in RBI, 3rd in walks, 4th in games played, and doubles as well, and she's also 6th in hits, so she's all over the Stanford softball record book. But more impressive than that, her academic resume. Academic All-American as a senior in 2002. 4-time NFCA Scholar Athlete. 3-time Pac-10 All-Academic Pick, and a recipient of an NCAA postgraduate scholarship. Sarah is the 5th Hall of Fame inductee from softball and is the first since Lauren Lappin 2 years ago. Please welcome Sarah Beeson Andersen.
Oh, thank you. It is such an honor to be here with so many people who have had such an incredible influence on Stanford athletics. And to say that I am humbled to be up here, wow, I'm loud now. To say that I'm humbled to be up here doesn't even begin to explain. I was humbled just to be able to come to Stanford, and so never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that you would put my name on a trophy. So the Lord has blessed me so richly richly. It's hard to even know where to begin, but I'll do my best. So I want to start with my husband, the best teammate I've had for the last 20 years, who's walked with me through a lot. I have most of my children here, and by far the greatest blessing and privilege in my whole life has been getting to be their mom. And I got to play a game that I love with wonderful teammates and coaches that I can't even begin to name them all, but I'll do my best. Let me start with my coaches. Coach Rittman, the best hitting coach that I know. That man will talk hitting in his sleep, and he has forgotten more about hitting than I'll ever know. But man, everything I know I learned from him. Coacha, Lonnie Alameda, she was our steady, encouraging presence with her words of wisdom for us on the mound. My teammates, I have a couple here, Ramona and Robin and Jess Mendoza, just in particular. They really taught me and pushed me to be better every single day. My roommate who couldn't be here, but she was an honorary member of our team, Sohini Ramachandran. She put up with me for 4 years, which that deserves a trophy in and of itself. And then my family. My parents are here and my brother. They are my biggest cheerleaders, both in softball and in life. And thank you doesn't begin to cover it, but that's all I have. So thank you. Thank you for your constant love, your support, and your sacrifice for me. So I am old enough that I just sent off my second child to college, and we just moved him in a month ago. And as we were doing that, of course, it brought back all the memories of my first days on the farm. And walking in, meeting my roommate for the first time, and just the beginning of these lifelong friendships. And it's hard to recognize, how much Stanford changes you. But it really is such a transformative experience to be with so many other people pursuing excellence. I remember walking in and feeling so out of my league. My roommate was and still is way smarter than I am. My teammates were better than I was. But yet here, we all worked together. We all pushed each other to be better. And I think that's what makes Stanford just so incredible, is that there's this pursuit of excellence in all things, in academics and athletics and in a myriad of other areas. Some of my favorite off-the-field memories are Robin and Sohini and I tried to catch every other sport when we were able to see them compete. And so whether it was volleyball or men's gymnastics, we have Dan Gill here today, or rugby or water polo, we tried to make it to it because it was just so incredible to see so many other people so skilled in so many diverse areas. And I think that culture of seeking excellence, no matter what, really just influenced my life. I think it shaped me both consciously and unconsciously. There's something really unique about being on a college athletic team, to be with 15 other women sweating and working and doing everything in the pursuit of a common goal. There's really very few things like that in this world. And to live and struggle together and to have it all be about the team and not the individual, that's just a little slice of heaven. So the women that I played with will always have a special place in my heart. And when we finally won regionals and we finally were going to the Women's College World Series, just the pure joy that we felt as we ran to Avery's Aquatic Center and we jumped in the pool, uniforms and all, because we did it. We finally made it over that hump. And those are the memories that I cherish. And of course, I can't help but end with a memory of the Women's College World Series. We were up by 1. There's a runner on second. We're in the field. And Robin's looking at her. She knows this story. And I'm playing first base. And off the bat, I think this ball is gone. And as I watch, Jess and Ramona and the ball and the wall all converge right at the same time. And somehow Jess makes this catch over Ramona's head as she's falling into her, as they're falling into the wall. And as they're disentangling themselves from each other, they have this whole conversation. They have this little moment. Did you get it? I got it. How'd you get it? Oh, that's amazing. Great job. And then when they finally came out of their moment to notice us screaming about this runner on second that's now starting to score. But if you think about it, that's what team is, right? It's someone who's running alongside you, who's cheering you along, who's celebrating you, and is helping you enjoy the moment. And maybe enjoying a little too much since the run son did score, but we won the game. So I think we'll let that pass for now. So it was all worth it. So I just want to say thank you to Stanford. Thank you for all that, that we have the DIF Fund and the DARPA and the Buck Cardinal, and there are so many people who work so hard to make this experience happen. And it's just an honor to be here. So I just want to say thank you to Stanford. Thank you for not only letting me be a part of our incredible softball team, but to be a part of the broader team of Stanford athletics and the Stanford community. I'm forever grateful to have been a part of this. So thank you.
Sarah Beeson Andersen. That's one of the greatest softball stories I've ever heard. I love that sport, and I'm gonna love that stadium too. That place is gonna be incredible. I can't wait till that place finally opens up. All right, we move on, and we bring the first of our 2 football inductees to the podium momentarily, David DeCastro. Paver, punisher, protector. Few have personified the concept of intellectual brutality quite like David did for some of the greatest teams in Stanford football history. He played on 3 bowl teams, including that 40-12 victory over Virginia Tech in the 2011 Orange Bowl. Those of us who were there that night will never forget it. He was a 2011 finalist for the Outland Trophy, which is awarded to the best interior lineman in college football by the Football Writers Association of America. He was also an All-American that same season, one of only 10 unanimous first-team honorees in school history. David started all 39 games he played while producing 316 knockdowns, 68 touchdown resulting blocks, and a blocking consistency grade of 91.63%. Who says there are no stats for offensive linemen? I didn't even know this stuff existed. 2009 first-team freshman All-American, also a 2-time All-Pac-10 first-team honoree. He was taken in the first round at number 24 overall in the 2012 NFL Draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I left my towel at home, sorry. David enjoyed a 9-year NFL career and was a 6-time Pro Bowler and a 3-time All-Pro. David is the 100th Hall of Fame inductee from football, following up Stephon Taylor from last year. Please welcome David DeCastro.
Wow, Troy, I didn't know those stats existed either. It's pretty cool. Thank you so much to Stanford for this great honor. When I first got the call from my teammate and good friend Andrew Luck telling me that I was getting the Hall of Fame, the memories started flooding back in, and I was trying to figure out what to say tonight. The first thing that jumped out at me was for our mandatory public speaking class, Power 2. Andrew and I happened to be in the same class, and he lived next door. And while we were preparing for our final presentation on World War II, I would usually go to a quiet place and practice in front of a mirror or something. And Andrew, on the other hand, he would barge into our room like Kramer on Seinfeld and ask my roommate Sam and I if we wanted to hear his speech. Before giving us a chance to say no, we've already heard it 100 times, he would dive right in. I'm sure you've heard of a machine gun and a flamethrower, but have you heard of a dam buster and a chocolate candy bar bomb? Andrew, I get that right? Yep. Yeah, we were all a bunch of nerds and it was awesome. I spent a lot of time together with my teammates in football and outside of it. I truly cherish the friendships and all the experiences that we had in those 4 years. But before I came to Stanford, my football journey didn't get off to a hot start. My mom wouldn't let me play football growing up because I was always the biggest kid and would have had to play with the kids because of the older kids because of the weight limits. I was a bit of a late bloomer too. I tried playing in 8th grade for a week and quit. I still kind of feel bad when my dad just bought me a pair of cleats and I had to give them back. Freshman, sophomore year were filled with a bunch of growing pains, but by junior year, everything started clicking together and the college offers started coming in. When I got the call from Coach Harbaugh offering me a scholarship, I didn't have to think twice. I knew this was the place where I wanted to be. Going to the best university in the country and playing the highest level of football was a no-brainer. You know, the football program wasn't doing very well when I committed. Jim Harbaugh was in his first year, and I remember vividly when we beat USC in 2007, the year before I came here. We were 40-point underdogs, and how exciting that was. However, I thought to myself, that's a huge win, but being 40-point underdogs isn't very good. It'd be great if we could turn that around and we were the favorites, and that's exactly what we did. Through a lot of hard work and talent, I'm proud to say we were 3-0 against USC. I was part of 3 bowl game teams as well. Two of which were BCS games and top 5 finishes. Off the field, I was surrounded by so many gifted people, Olympians, entrepreneurs, outstanding professors, and overall just extremely intelligent, driven, and pleasant individuals. It was a humbling and motivating atmosphere that forced me to give my full effort. You know, I'm still in awe of this place, like I was the first time I visited here with my dad when I was 16 years old. It was such a busy and demanding 4 years that whenever I come back to watch a game, I like to ride a bike around campus to appreciate it and soak in all the memories. This school is truly one of a kind. You know, reflecting back after retiring from football a couple years ago, I truly began to appreciate how much football meant to me, not just for the opportunities it provided to get into this school and a career afterwards, but for the values and lessons it taught me, and still resonate with me to this day. How to be resilient, disciplined, focused, how to push yourself past your limits. I can still clearly see my high school coach, Butch Gontroff, 20 years later, asking our team during a 3-day practices, what goes first, your mind or your body? And then there was Jim Harbaugh, who was in a league of his own when it came to motivational sayings. I wish I had some more time, and I'd give you some more, but you know, one of his best ones, you know, when we had a big game, he would tell us not to be apprehensive of the moment, or apprehensive of the challenge, but instead seize the moment. In his own words, it was an opportunity for greatness to be attacked with enthusiasm unknown to mankind. Yeah, he was special. I was very lucky to have coaches I did in high school and college. They created an environment of high energy, emotion, and motivation. There's a lot of tough love, too. The time sacrifices they made to make sure we were prepared will always be remembered. And they definitely share in this recognition as well. To all my teammates, they were the reason why I always pushed myself to be better and make every snap important. I always felt that it was hard to let yourself down, but it's a lot harder to let down the guy next to you. They were my best friends, and they always kept me accountable. To my host family who I lived with during the summers here at Stanford, the Kramers, John, Chrissy, Carter, Will, and Tabor, thank you for letting me into the family and treating me like an adopted son and brother. I really enjoyed the time we shared, getting to know your friends and family, and especially all the home-cooked meals. To my little sister, Allie, thanks for always being there for me when I needed to chat and still are to this day. To my parents, thanks for the genetics to wrestle with and run into the biggest athletes on the planet. You know, both my parents were born and raised in South Africa. I almost grew up there too, and I think my dad still wonders what kind of rugby player I would have been. Dad, I think everything worked out all right. Thanks for all your guidance and humorous encouragement. Mom, thanks for caring for me and your stoic words of wisdom whenever I needed them. I didn't realize until I had my own kids how much energy it takes to raise a child. The sacrifices you made will never be taken for granted. I know it took a lot of drinks to get through the stress of watching my games. But it created a lot of great memories, and I know it brought us closer together. To my wife, Bonnie, who I've known since I was 15 before I was any good at football. Even though you didn't go to school here, it felt like you did with how many games you came to and how close you were with my friends. Thank you for all the support throughout the years. I couldn't be more proud of our family of 5 amazing children. To my kids, Brooke, Olivia, Henry, Daphne, and Scarlett, thank you for giving me the ultimate purpose in life. It's been so fulfilling watching you guys grow up, and I'm excited for the years ahead. Finally, thank you to this amazing institution for giving me the opportunity to live out my dreams. I'm proud to forever be a Stanford Cardinal.
David, you just gave me an idea. When I get home, I'm going to pop on YouTube and I'm going to put on a replay of the 2011 Stanford-Washington game. 446 yards rushing that night against the Huskies. That's still one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. David DeCastro, congratulations. Let's head to Sunken Diamond, one of my favorite places to be, and one of the best baseball players in school history, Ryan Garko. The experience as a player and a coach ultimately preparing him very well for his current front office executive role. It's been awesome to see. Ryan helped lead Stanford to Omaha 4 times, including 3 runner-up finishes. Twice in that stretch, he was voted a member of the NCAA College World Series all-tournament team. His senior season in 2003 was one for the books. He led the Cardinal that season in batting average, doubles, home runs, and a school record 92 RBI, while striking out only 17 times. Are you serious? That performance earned him first-team All-American honors, the Co-Pac-10 Player of the Year award, and that season's Johnny Bench Award given to the top catcher in NCAA Division I baseball. Ryan is one of only 6 players in school history to hit 400 or better in a season, and he finished with a career batting average of .350. Taken in the 3rd round of the 2003 Major League Baseball draft by the Cleveland Indians, Ryan's 6-year pro career also took him to the Texas Rangers and the San Francisco Giants. Ryan served as an assistant coach at Stanford in 2014 and later gained head coaching experience with the AA Tulsa Drillers and University of the Pacific. Ryan is the 50th Hall of Fame inductee from baseball and the first since Carlos Quentin last year. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Garko.
Thanks so much. It's wonderful to be here tonight. First, I want to thank Stanford University, the Hall of Fame Committee, for this incredible honor. I think when you start as an athlete here at Stanford, this is something that you never really think is going to happen, and to be here tonight is truly an honor. And congratulations to the rest of this class to share this stage with you tonight. It's a great class, and your stories are all wonderful, and it's so exciting to be here hearing about them tonight. I'm still in baseball, like we just talked about, and it feels like it's just a continuation of when I started here at Stanford. So there hasn't been a lot of time to stop and reflect in this, season after season, game after game. And when I got the call from Alden Mitchell, it kind of took my breath away because I stopped and actually looked back on my time here at Stanford and got to think of some of the great memories, the great people I got to spend time with, my teammates, my friends, my classmates, and of course my coaches. And I think the first thought that came to mind was just gratitude of so many people who poured so much into me and my teammates. I have to start with some thank yous. First to Coach Marquez and his staff. It was Dean Stotts, Tom Kunis, Dave Nakama, and Mark O'Brien were the staff when I was here. And then Coach Marquez brought me back. He gave me my first job after playing, and I got to come coach for him again. And there's too many stories to tell about those guys and the memories we shared together. Not enough time in this evening, but I think what I can say, and I can brag a little, it's a Hall of Fame ceremony, I was right. I think I was right in the middle of probably the greatest 20-year run for any program in the history of college baseball that Coach Marquez and Coach Stotts and many of his other coaches built. And the expectations were high, and we didn't run from it. We won a lot of games. A lot of guys got drafted. A lot of guys went on to have great professional careers and do other things. And I think collectively and individually, the expectations were always high, and we knew that. But what I would say and what I learned, and I'm a coach now at heart still, is it was always more about building men than chasing the wins. It was always more about the person than the player. We won with integrity. We lost with class. We did a lot on and off the field that I think Coach Mark was never, the bar never was lowered, the standards were high, and it was always done the right way. And I thank you for teaching all of us that. There's a lot of dads and husbands and fathers out there now that you and your staff, you built and you taught the right way to do things. he asked for a lot, but he's the hardest working guy I've ever been around. He supported us far, far more than what he asked out of us. Ted Leland, I think, is here tonight, and I just need to acknowledge Ted. He built that athletic department. We used to joke around the Director's Cup, the players that we used to say, I think Ted Leland, he built the formula for this because we win it every single year, and it's never close. But he also gave me my first head coaching job at Pacific, and it's a hard job, but he trusted me with it, and he taught me how to lead, and he taught me a lot the short time we did get to work together. So thank you, Ted. It meant a lot, and being a part of your athletic department meant a lot as a player as well. She's not here tonight, but I also need to just remember Kathy Wolf. If I could describe Kathy, she was the calm amongst the storm in that office and on those buses and on those airplanes with a bunch of boys and Coach Marquez and Coach Stoss running around, and we miss her. And she was a big part of everybody in that era that played, and she is missed to this day. To my parents, thank you for everything. I think I knew it growing up. You were making a lot of sacrifices. I definitely know it now. I have an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old, and I know exactly what travel ball and dance and Catholic school costs. So thank you, but beyond just that, the care and the love and the time spent and putting us on a path to success, I know it did not come easily, and I know how hard you worked to give us such a beautiful life. One story I would tell about my mom, it's why I ended up here. I was in the You Got 5 Visits era, and Coach Marquez called the house on just a random day and said, hey, I'm gonna come visit your house on Sunday. If you guys are around, I'm gonna come down and visit you. And I was like, sure, great, we'll be here. And he's like, yeah, then come up, you can go to a football game. And got off the phone, and we're sitting around the dinner table or something later that evening, and I was talking about like which weekend would work, and my mom just stops me, and she just says, wait a second, like, it doesn't matter what Coach Marquez says on Sunday, like, you're going to Stanford. So that was that, and it was a good choice. It was a good choice. To my brother Michael and my sister Rachel are here tonight, thank you for coming, and thank you for being my best friends through it all, good times and bad, and thank you for coming out tonight. To my family, we're a baseball family. We've never done anything else, and that's a hard life for those of you who be a coach's wife or to work in sports. A lot of moves, a lot of ups and downs, not the most stable job in the world. You travel a lot and got to live through the wins and losses. To my wife, Christy, thank you. We've ridden the highs and weathered some lows together, and wherever life has taken us, you've made our house a home, and you filled it with joy and love and laughter, and I just don't think I'd be here without you tonight. To Olivia and James, my children, being your dad is life's greatest honor, God's greatest blessing. Thank you, you two. Quick story just about my time here. So this night, when I was thinking about it, it probably shouldn't have happened. In baseball, you can get drafted as a junior, and I had a fine career and probably should have been drafted, and just for one reason or another, it didn't. And had I left, had I been picked, in the middle rounds and gone, I would have been a nice little career and not have been here tonight, though. And so I got to come back for a senior season. And one of my favorite things as part of the program was when practice would end, we'd just kind of sit around the dugout, and Coach Marquez would just talk to us. And it could be about baseball, about the game, or about life, or about school, or about current events. It didn't matter. And so we're sitting there in the fall of my senior year, and he just goes out kind of out of nowhere, like, hey boys, like, if you want to be a real stud, Barry Bonds has more home runs than strikeouts. He's like, that's a stud. And I kind of was like sitting there, we kind of laughed it off. And I said, like, we were good. I mean, we had a good team, we had good players. And I remember sitting there, I was kind of looking for a purpose that last year. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll try to do that. Like, maybe I'll try. It sounds like, I don't know, I'll try. Like, I have one more year left, like, this is it. it's time, kind of sink or swim here. And so what you heard, it ended up working out. But it was really a commitment. It was a commitment to be something greater than I think I thought I could be when I first got here. And there was a lot of work that went into it, and there was a lot of practice. And I was like, hey, I'm not going to give away one at bat. I'm not going to give away one inning. I'm going to try to have this senior season be the best year of my career, and then just see what happens. And blessed that I had it. A year I didn't think I'd get, I got to have. And when I look back on it, I'm just so thankful that, as an athlete, if I got to tell anyone who played for me or was a young Detroit Tigers player, I work in our player development, if you can just leave what you have on the field when you're done, that's probably the greatest thing that you can ever feel as an athlete, is what I had in the tank. I left it out there, and that's how I do feel. I feel about that senior year. What I had in me, I left it out there. I gave my coaches, I gave my parents, I gave my teammates, everything I had. And the funny thing is, as much as I felt like I gave to this university, I got back tenfold. And my teammates and my coaches and my friends and my professors, they impacted me far more than I could ever impact them. I have a beautiful life because of this place. I will sing Stanford's praises to the rooftops forever. It is truly a place that there are no athletes that do what our athletes do. And when they finish here, they go out, and whether it's in their sport or not, they go out and change the world. So thank you so much to Stanford University and the Hall of Fame committee again. It's really an honor to be here, and I'll cherish this moment forever. Thank you.
Once again, Ryan Garko. All right, fifth member of this class is Dan Gill. NCAA champions, national award winners, men's gymnastics has long been considered one of the most consistent programs on this campus, and that's saying something. Dan's career, one of the most decorated in school history. In 2004, he won the Nissen Emery Award, which goes to the top senior gymnast in the nation. He's one of 7 Stanford men's gymnasts to win that award. In 2002, he won the NCAA championship on vault, one of 6 Cardinal gymnasts to win an individual title on that apparatus. Dan wrapped up his career as a 9-time All-American, earning at least 1 honor in each of his 4 seasons. There are only 4 gymnasts in Stanford history who have racked up 5 All-America accolades at one single NCAA championship. Dan did that in 2004. Oh, and he also won MPSF Gymnast of the Year that season too. How about that? First in the program history to receive the honor, and is one of 7 recipients overall. Finally, Dan was a member of the U.S. national team in 2003 and in 2004, and he competed on the bronze medal winning squad at the Pan American Games. Dan is the 6th Hall of Fame inductee for men's gymnastics and the first since Josh Stein in 2018. Please welcome and congratulate Dan Gill.
Wow, it's just looking at a giant mirror up there. Not a thing has changed with that guy. I'll start just by saying I'm incredibly proud and thrilled to be up here tonight. So I want to say thank you to anyone that had any involvement in bestowing this incredible honor on me and for putting together such an impressive event. I'm grateful to Stanford for a huge number of reasons, so I tried to put some thought into what I wanted to highlight tonight. And I think Sarah nailed it. I want to talk about just a relentless pursuit of excellence in this place. I think that in sports, winning is really, it's objective, and so there's a scoreboard or a judge, and so winning is obvious. But somewhat less discussed, but equally true, is that there are people unlocking exceptional achievement in every pursuit, whether entrepreneurship to education, from research to the performing arts. Stanford knows how to seek out the people that have the will and then paves the way with everything that we could possibly need to get there. It's incredible volumes of hard work, a lot of hours, a lot of getting out of bed when you don't really feel like it, a risk tolerance, a resilience after failure. But I think arguably most importantly is that you need a support network of teammates and coaches and friends and family. Nobody gets on this stage alone. And so I want to talk about a few of the people here at Stanford and beyond that have been with me every step of my journeys so far. I was a pretty good gymnast in high school, but I was not particularly great. And that completely changed. I got here, and I had the opportunity to start training every day with one of my still best friends in the world, Dave Durrani. Dave brings just like an unbelievable work ethic and intensity, but also an extreme polish to every single thing that he does. And it was Dave and then Coach Sadao Hamada. They took to taking my gymnastics apart, stripping me down to the basics and rebuilding me, or as Sadao eloquently put it at the time, making chicken salad out of chicken shit. So as the captain, Dave held optional two-a-day practices, and a lot of the time it really was just the two of us. And we would show up, and I got so much better just showing up, following him around, and trying to emulate Dave. I'm gonna tell a quick aside, and I'll keep moving. When we were done with gymnastics, Dave came back as an assistant coach. He won the NCAA team title that we never won together. He got his championship ring, and he laser cut it in half. He gave me one. Unbelievable. That's how lucky I am to have Dave in my life. So anyway, after that, freshman year got a lot better. Sophomore year, things really changed into a different gear. Still head coach Tom Gleamy showed up. He's got 7 NCAA team championships, multiple Olympians, a stint as the Olympic coach, more Coach of the Year accolades than you could possibly name here tonight. This is before all of that, but we immediately knew we had hit the jackpot. Tom brought so much intentionality and rigor to our training and always wanted to ensure that we were the most prepared athletes on the floor. I made the U.S. national team that very first year that he was here and fulfilled a dream of getting to wear USA on my chest. And I went to the training camp and I got made fun of by the other guys for doing too many reps in practice, when in reality, every aspect of every practice had been predetermined by Tom months in advance. And it's been 21 years since I've worn a Stanford or a USA uniform, but I think of Tom and I think of Dave and I think of my teammates almost every day as a professional, as a father, trying to bring that same rigor and intentionality and that relentless pursuit of incremental progress to everything that I do. And Tom, you changed my life in more ways than I think you know, and I'm forever grateful to you. I was also really lucky to find another role model for my life after gymnastics in the form of my incredible wife, Leon. She did her undergrad and master's here at Stanford in under 4 years, 4.0 GPA, no big deal. She's gonna love that I said all that. But it was a couple years later, a very late night at the Old Pro Bar in Palo Alto, and we'll say we reconnected. And for the last 18 years, I've had a partner to build a life with. And like Dave, Leon brings an incredible intensity to the pursuit of her own excellence and that polish and that perfectionism. And like Tom, she knows how to use both carrot and stick to help me improve in all the ways. Leon, together we are much greater than the sum of our parts. I'm very grateful that we continue to choose each other. Our girls, Evie and Hallie, are here. You two are amazing, and I really believe not just to me and Mom. I'm excited to experience everything that life has to offer with you two and to help you discover your own excellence together. I love you both very much. My family, my parents, Tom and Lorna, and my brothers, John and Ted, are all here tonight and with me always. Mom and Dad, 3 sons, insatiable appetites, one with a particular penchant for finding the emergency room. I'm sorry about that. I don't envy at all. I know what it is to be a parent now, and I don't envy at all those years you had us at home. But Mom, you're an incredible boy's mama. And Dad, you modeled so many of the behaviors of the person that I am and that I still want to be. John, you were an exceptional student and a selfless leader. And Ted, just like Garko's mom, when I was 17, I was pretty upset. I hadn't been recruited. I was wounded that Stanford hadn't recruited me as hard as so many of the other schools did. I was a little hurt by that, and Ted gave me the sage advice, if you get into Stanford, you're going no matter what, you idiot. And so Ted, thank you for that, but also for so many other things. I'm coming up on time. I want to get a few more names out. Carlos Vasquez, my childhood coach, used to pick me up at 6:30 in the morning and take me to practice before school and then take me to school. John Roethlisberger is a 3-time United States Olympian, was a childhood hero of mine and now a lifelong friend. He walks his talk more than any person I have ever met in my life. Also a former Coach Gleamy athlete. All my teammates from my time here at Stanford, we had a lot of fun together. And I also learned to be a leader, first by watching those guys and then having the opportunity to be out front. John Hall and Don Coleman were my first 2 bosses. They're Stanford grads. I had a biology degree and absolutely no relevant experience of any kind. And they took a chance on me, let me join their tech company, and gave me a world-class education in entrepreneurship and team building. And Ben Houston and Ernie Garcia, my teammates now, who are the human embodiment of the fact that everything in life can be turned into competition and that losing is not an option. So I'll try and close here. I want to say one more thank you to the thousands of people at Stanford University whose vision and ambition and exceptional efforts create the exceptional outcome that is Stanford. I love that we are unapologetic in our pursuit of excellence here, that we understand that the attainment of excellence actually makes the world a better place for everyone, and that striving for excellence stretches us to find out what our potential is and helps us forge unbreakable bonds with people that we love. I'm forever grateful to this place. I would never have become the gymnast that I became or the person that I am anywhere else in the world. Thank you all so much.
I always have a lot of respect for gymnasts, you know, the skill, the dexterity, the grace, the courage, the things, the physical feats that they can pull off. Meanwhile, I think I stumbled coming out of my car walking into the building here today. Dan Gill, everyone. Our next inductee is Kiley Neushul. She's one of 2 first ballot inductees in this year's class, and like Erin Burdette earlier, the oldest of 3 sisters who excelled at every level of the sport. Kiley, a 3-time NCAA champion in 2012, 2014, and 2015, her other season in 2013 resulting in a runner-up finish. How about this for a championship moment? Kiley's penalty shot with 11 seconds left in the 2015 NCAA final was her 5th goal of the match, secured the 7-6 victory over UCLA, and clinched the national championship for Stanford, all in one fell swoop. Kiley started and finished her Cardinal career by winning the Peter J. Catino Award, and she was also named the 2012 ACWPC Player of the Year. A 4-time All-American, she's one of 16 players in school history to earn recognition in all 4 of her seasons. 222 career goals, that's 7th in school history, and an Olympic gold medal with Team USA from Rio in her trophy case. I'd imagine that's a heck of a conversation starter. Kiley is the 7th Hall of Fame inductee from women's water polo, following Annika Dries in 2024. Please welcome Kiley Neushul.
All right, good evening, everyone. It's an incredible privilege to return to Stanford tonight for my induction to the Athletics Hall of Fame. Congratulations to all my fellow inductees. I'm honored, really honored to stand beside you tonight. There's so many people who shaped my journey to Stanford, at Stanford, and beyond Stanford, and I'd like to take a moment to thank some of them. With me tonight here, there are 3 families that have joined. The McLean family. I remember coming up to Northern California, hanging out with you guys and your 3 boys, playing all the sports, competing every day with them. Thanks for being a home away from home when I needed to get away from campus, which wasn't very often, but thank you for coming tonight. To the Vince family, Jean-Bort, you were my first real tangible example in the NCAA competition. I remember watching you as a little kid playing it with the UCSB Gaucho team and just being super impressed. So thank you for providing an example of what it meant to be a real, true student athlete. To the Hogan family, thank you for supporting me beyond the pool and for guiding me through these last couple chapters of my life. To my husband, Gabriel, I can't even thank you enough. I'm having so much fun with you every day, and I'm very, very happy that you're here to spend this moment with me. Again, moving on to the people who kind of built me up as an athlete and supported me through my Stanford career. So to my parents, Peter and Kathy, thank you for showing me the balance of academics and athletics, for reminding me every day to compete with humility, and for teaching me to be a respectful teammate. Together, you've both championed women in sport, creating opportunities for me and inspiring generations behind me and generations to come. I think, Mom, you have 4 current players on the Stanford team, so I'm just super lucky to come from the community that you created there in Santa Barbara, and that I'm now actually rejoining. I'm going to swimming practice on Tuesday and Friday mornings, getting my butt kicked by a bunch of 14-year-olds. To my Stanford coaches, JT, Susan, and Kyle, thank you for designing a program where I felt respected, challenged, and understood from the beginning. You provided structure to my game, coming from kind of a wild youth team where I had to be the protagonist at all times. I was very offensive oriented. You brought some shot blocking, some defense, just fun new movements and techniques. You really understand the game from an intellectual standpoint, which resonated with me incredibly. You also allowed me the freedom to take the lead when the moment demanded it. So you taught me when to turn it on, when to include my teammates a little more, get them into the game. And you continue to remind me that excellence, again, is not just about an individual performance, but about elevating those around you. To my friends, my roommates, the athletic community, and most importantly, my teammates here at Stanford. And I say that because I really felt like when I got in the water and I put my cap on, I was representing, everyone my whole entire community at Stanford. It's like going back to the dorms, talking about practice, and my track friend was like, yeah, man, JT, he's bad. He's been bad these last couple months. Give him a little bit of time. Like, he's out of it. They're just really, really intimately involved in all the stories. Thank you for shaping my Stanford experience. We grew up on this spectacular campus together, and we found joy in every part of our adventure. I have 2 very special thank yous to give tonight. 2 teammates, I will say. One of them's not a teammate, but my sisters Jamie and Ryan were able to make it up here tonight. Jamie, my greatest memories as an athlete are the years we shared in this program. I will never forget that right back assist you gave me at one. I think it was my third goal in that big final national championship game. I threw it to you, the sun was blaring in your eyes, and you just threw it back to me. I was ready to score that near side skip on Sammy, also one of my best friends who was the UCLA goalie. I really miss biking around with you, hanging out with all of our teammates and our friends together, going to comm class together. You know, we had such a good time here. We're so lucky to have gotten to come to school together. Ryan, you were never my Stanford teammate, but your fight to earn your place in this program was incredibly inspiring. I watched you from afar, would like close my computer and wait for the NCAA game to finish and then open it up when it was, when I woke up in Barcelona a ton of times. And watch you just crush it. So thank you for carrying forward the Neushul name and the Stanford women's water polo tradition with such heart and determination. It's amazing to see your picture out there in the Hall of Champions. Get the goosebumps. Finally, to Stanford University and the athletic department, thank you for the chance to compete at the highest level, among the best every single day, in the classroom, in the dining hall, in the pool. Here I learned how to prepare, how to lead, and how to meet every challenge with composure and conviction. So again, best school in the world. Looking back, the true gift of Stanford athletics were not the championships and the victories, obviously very important, but it was how the university prepared me to keep growing and competing long, long after my career. I've lived many places around the world, around the country, ever since I retired from water polo. And I am forever grateful to represent Stanford, not just as an athlete, but as a lifelong learner. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Congrats again to Kiley Neushul. How's everyone doing out there? You having fun? Okay. All right, good. Because we've got more. Let's talk women's soccer, shall we? Our next inductee is Kelley O'Hara. Stanford's emergence as an annual championship contender in women's soccer was fueled by the generational talent of Kelley O'Hara. By the time she'd wrapped up her career, she had helped lead Stanford to 4 NCAA appearances, back-to-back NCAA College Cups that ended a 15-year drought, and a national runner-up finish in 2009. And Kelley was an absolute force during that 2009 season. She led the country in goals and in points. She claimed Pac-10 Player of the Year honors. She was named both Soccer America Player of the Year and NSCAA Player of the Year. And she also became Stanford's first ever Mac Herman Trophy Award winner, which is the highest individual award in college soccer. There's more. 3-time Olympian with Team USA, she won gold in 2012 and bronze in 2020. She played in 4 World Cups with Team USA, taking gold there twice. She finished with 160 caps and played in every senior world championship from 2011 to 2023. Also competed in 11 seasons in the NWSL, winning championships with Gotham FC and the Washington Spirit, while also collecting a title with FC Gold Pride of the WPS. Oh, and she hit the books too, by the way. First team academic All-American and National Scholar Athlete of the Year. Kelley is the 9th Hall of Fame inductee from women's soccer, following Teresa Noyola last year. Please welcome and congratulate Kelley O'Hara.
Troy, your presence on a microphone is incredible, truly. You've made this night very fun. Right? Yeah. Okay. First, I want to say congrats to my fellow classmates, and thank you, Stanford, for this celebration. To stand on this stage, bring that down, and join the legacy of this athletic program is truly an honor. But I gotta be honest, I didn't grow up knowing much about Stanford. Stanford wasn't my dream school. As a kid from Georgia, the first time I heard about Stanford was when a recruiting packet showed up with Mem Chu on the cover. I thought, wow, that place is pretty. And then tossed it straight into the not interested pile. I did come out west my junior year for a recruiting trip, but not to Stanford, school down the road, we don't need to name it. It was Santa Clara. Driving down the 280, my dad pointed to the Stanford exit like it should mean something. I shrugged, again, not interested. But months later, after visiting other schools and none of them feeling quite right, Paul called me. He knew I hadn't committed anywhere and convinced me to give Stanford a look. I did my homework, as any good student does, and discovered the excellence that Stanford was known for. The storied athletic program, the high academic standards. I became interested. Then I visited campus. Palm trees, Christmas trees, no humidity. I became very interested. But what really stood out was the team culture. It felt genuine. And then, as I was trying to decide which school I would commit to, my sister called, a freshman at Georgia at the time. She called to tell me she had seen results of a survey that listed schools with the happiest students. Stanford topped that list. That sealed the deal. Stanford wasn't the dream to begin with, but it became that. It was everything I didn't know I wanted and needed. Now, when anyone asks about my time on the farm, I tell them it exceeded every expectation. It shaped me as a player, but more importantly, as a person. It's impossible not to grow when you're surrounded by excellence every day. Coming here was one of the best decisions of my life. Thank you to my parents. You were the first ones who taught me about excellence. You set the bar high. Straight A's was the expectation, even though we begrudgingly was like, B's are fine. They're like, no, straight A's. And it's probably a big reason why I was able to get in here. You perfectly supported my athletic career. You were there for every step of the way, but you never pushed me. You let me decide how good I wanted to be. When I thought about quitting soccer at 13, you told me, do it because you love it. And if you don't, that's okay. You can find something else that you love. Turns out, I really did love it. Thank you for showing up to pretty much every game, though I know the home games you really came for the epic parent tailgates. And thank you to my fiance. You have been my rock for so many years, and I will never be able to put into words what your love and support means to me. Paul, you held me to incredibly high standards and believed in the player I could become, and you never sugarcoated anything. You were very clear that to make it beyond the college game, I needed to be doing all the right things now. I still remember meeting with you after I've been drafted and was set to turn pro. You told me I needed to get bigger, and if I wanted to make it in the pros, I needed to be in the gym 5 days a week, and I needed to be drinking 2 muscle milks a day. And I listened, because muscle milk is delicious, and I trusted your advice. In all seriousness, thank you. You are a legend of this school and this game. Case in point, you got your 400th win last night. Congrats to you and what you have built here. Yeah, let's clap it up. And thank you for inviting me to be a part of this program. To my teammates, some of which are still my closest friends today, y'all are the best. And I swear, we were the most fun team on campus, but maybe I'm biased. I know I wasn't always easy to deal with early on. I was stubborn, competitive, and still learning how to be a good teammate. But thank you for loving me through it. I wouldn't be standing here tonight without each and every one of you. We didn't win a national championship, and yes, I still feel responsible for that, given I infamously got a red card in the final of our almost undefeated season my senior year. Sorry. But the groundwork we laid during our time here helped build the program into what it is today. My time at Stanford was a journey. I didn't get the ultimate goal of a national championship, but I learned that the magic is in the striving and the people that you do it with. Perfection isn't attainable, but excellence is. And to me, that's what Stanford will always represent, excellence personified. Again, thank you to everyone who has impacted me along the way, and to Stanford for this incredible honor.
Kelley O'Hara, well done, thank you. And yes, the check is in the mail. Let's hit the hardwood. Let's shoot some hoops. Next member that we'll introduce to you tonight, Jeanette Pohlen. Stanford's return as an annual NCAA Final Four fixture was made possible large part due to Jeanette's efforts. And of course, now she obviously brings her expertise and pedigree from the bench in guiding the new school of Stanford women's basketball. Jeanette went 4 for 4. 4 seasons played at Stanford, 4 NCAA Final Four appearances. Cardinal earned runner-up finishes in 2008 and 2010. Her senior season, she just took it to another level. 2011 Pac-10 Player of the Year, AP First Team All-American, the John R. Wooden All-America team, and a U.S. Basketball Writers Association All-American. Jeanette's signature moment, though, actually came her junior year. That coast-to-coast layup with 4.4 seconds left that sent Stanford past Xavier at the 2010 NCAA Regional in Sacramento and sent the Cardinal to the Final Four. That was good stuff. Several of Jeanette's career totals still rank among the program's best. 3rd in minutes played, 4th in three-pointers, and 6th in assists. 4th in games played as well. She was selected in the first round, number 9 overall of the 2011 WNBA draft by the Indiana Fever. Jeanette played 148 career games, and she also won the 2012 WNBA championship with the franchise, while also leading the league in three-point shooting in 2011. Jeanette now enters her 5th season as a member of the coaching staff here at Stanford, serving as an assistant. Can't wait to see y'all get back on the floor. Janette is the 16th Hall of Fame inductee from women's basketball, following Chiney Ogwumike from last year. Please welcome and congratulate Jeanette Pohlen.
Thank you, Troy. Dan, I'm with you. It's like looking in a mirror. I think a little bit more blonde, I think now, but good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I want to congratulate my fellow inductees. What an incredible and fun group to be a part of. I'm truly honored to share this moment with you. Thank you to the Stanford Athletics Board, the Board of Trustees, President Levin, Provost Martinez, our new AD, John Donahoe, COO Alden Mitchell, and everyone who worked so hard to make this night so special. Standing here tonight is simply overwhelming, but I think that just speaks to the level of excellence, integrity, and character represented in this room. Not just in the trophies or titles, but in the people. I still remember the very first basket I ever made. I was in kindergarten, playing up with my older brother's team of first and second graders, which at the time felt like being called up to the pros. I didn't typically get the ball, mostly because I wasn't very good, and also because I was one of the only girls on the team. There were games where I wouldn't even touch the ball, let alone get a shot up. But there was one game I'll never forget. My older brother, who was really the only one that would occasionally pass to me, did just that. And this time, knowing I might never get the ball again, I didn't hesitate. I caught it, turned, and to my own surprise, I scored. I was so proud. I was ready for my moment of glory until I realized I had just scored on the wrong basket. I was crushed, nearly in tears, but while I was devastated, my parents were on the sidelines, cheering like I had just hit a game winner. After the game, they of course took me and my brothers, out for ice cream at Foster's Freeze, because anybody that knows me knows any sweet treat is a way to my heart. Because even if it wasn't the right basket, it was still my first basket. Looking back, that little moment captures so much of what my journey has been about. The joy of the game, the challenges that come with growing and learning, the unwavering support of my family and friends, and the incredible people who have been by my side along the way. When it came time to choose where I wanted to play college basketball, I found myself searching for those exact same things. During the recruiting process, Stanford stood out right away. It wasn't just about basketball. It was the joy I felt visiting campus, the honesty about the challenges ahead, the support system they promised, and the people I met who felt like family from day one. That feeling was confirmed the moment I arrived. Stanford became my home away from home, and I knew I had made the right choice. When I think back on my time here, I was lucky enough to play in some really fun and exciting games. Final Fours, championships, you name it, but there's one game that stands out above the rest. December 2010, my senior year against UConn. I think there were a few people here at that game, and it was very exciting. They came in riding a 90-game win streak, and I think it's worth noting we were the last team to beat them back in 2008 at the Final Four in Tampa. We knew what this game meant, not just for us, but for our program and for Stanford athletics. We were locked in all week. Our coaches had us ready. We knew the game plan, the matchups, the tendencies. We were prepared. And Maples was electric. It was winter break, so the students were gone, but the football team was still on campus preparing for the Orange Bowl. And they showed up in full force, packed into the baseline near UConn's bench, heckling, cheering, hyping us up. It was the loudest I've ever heard the gym. Winning that game with my teammates, in front of our fans, with my family and friends in the stands, it was unforgettable. And it reminded me again why I chose Stanford. Because of the people, because of the moments, because it always felt like home. What makes this place special isn't just the championships or the classrooms or even the most beautiful campus in the world. It's the people. Tonight, I stand here incredibly honored, but I also stand here as a reflection of the people who shaped me, pushed me, and believed in me throughout my time at Stanford. My coaches. Tara, I think you're up there. Thank you for your leadership, your vision, and your patience, especially with me. I know I tested it a few times, maybe more than a few. Thank you for believing in me and for never letting me settle for anything less than my best. You've done more for me than you'll ever know. Amy, you recruited me out of high school, and I'll always be grateful for your confidence in me. You saw something in me that I wasn't totally sure I saw in myself. That belief changed my life. Kate, you were there when I was trying to find my way as a player, and now I'm incredibly proud to be on the sidelines with you, learning and growing in a whole new way. It's not lost on me how rare and special it is to share this kind of full circle experience. You've shown me what it means to lead with purpose, and I'm grateful every day to be a part of your staff and your vision. Thank you for always being there for me, not just in the good times, but especially during the hard ones. As my dad said, you are family. To Bobby, my Stanford sister and coach, thank you for always keeping things light and for leading with such passion and energy. You made the grind fun, and we needed that. To our incredible support staff during my 4 years, trainers, strength coaches, academic advisors, equipment managers, team doctors, nutritionists, you name it. You showed up early, stayed late, and cared deeply. Thank you for making it all possible. And I would have to give a huge shout out to our current staff and players that are here tonight. Let's give them a quick round of applause. I am so lucky and blessed to go to work every day excited and usually coming out with my cheeks hurting because we're laughing so hard and so much all the time. So thank you for not making it work every day. To my teammates, my sisters, this honor is yours too. The sisterhood is real. You are my motivation, my mirror, my why. Every practice, every 6 a.m. workout, every locker room speech, we did it together. The wins were sweet, but what made them unforgettable was sharing them with you. And we had some really fun times. To my family, there are 2 people who aren't with us tonight, my mom and my dad, and I want to take a moment to honor them. Bear with me. If you ever came to a Stanford game, home or away, you probably saw them. They never missed a game. And if you talked to them, you instantly became their friend. I'm pretty sure the fans were more excited to see them than they were excited to see me. My dad was a coach, and he's one of the biggest reasons I got into basketball. We bonded over the game, watching, rewatching, talking strategy. He's the reason I wanted to coach. And I know how proud he would be to see me back here coaching at my alma mater. My mom was the ultimate team mom, always with baked goods in hand and a smile on her face, win or lose. She had a way of making everyone feel like they belonged. When I told her I was coming back to the farm in 2021 to help with the team, she was ecstatic. I think my parents found the same comfort and community at Stanford that I did. They found a second home here, and tonight it feels like I'm sharing this honor with them. To my brothers, my 2 older brothers, John and Tom, thank you for letting me play with you growing up, even if it was always 2-on-1 and usually ended in tears. You taught me toughness, you showed me how to compete, and when it really mattered, you had my back, especially when the refs would make a bad call. To Tracy and Amanda, my amazing sisters-in-law, and to my nieces and nephews, Will, Jameson, Bennett, Isla, and Livy, thank you for being my biggest fans. To my friends and extended family who all made the trip, thank you for your constant love and support. Thank you for showing up for all of it. Through every high and low, 4 things have shaped me in this basketball journey: the joy of the game, the challenges that built me, the support I've received, and the people I've met along the way. Those things didn't just define my time at Stanford, they've helped define who I am. And tonight, as I stand here being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I'm just as grateful as I was after that very first basket, even if it was for the wrong team. Thank you.
One more time, Jeanette Pohlen. I've got December 3rd marked off on my calendar. Want to give Rocky Top a tough time while they're here in Maples Pavilion. I'm looking forward to that. All right, well, let's stay on the basketball court. Switch over to men's basketball. And welcoming our next inductee, Chasson Randle. When Stanford went to the Sweet 16 in 2014, upsetting New Mexico and Kansas along the way, Chasson was at the forefront when Stanford was cutting down the nets after winning the NIT championships in 2012 and in 2015. Chasson helped lead the way. Chasson was named the 2015 NIT Most Outstanding Player, averaging just under 24 points in tournament play and a game-high 25 in the title game against Miami. His name's all over the Stanford record books, folks. He left the farm as the program's all-time leading scorer with just under 2,400 points. He also owns school career records with 142 games started and 4,791 minutes played. On top of that, ranked second in program history in career three-pointers, third in career field goals, and fourth in career free throws, as well as third in career steals. His achievements in the classroom, just as special. First team academic All-American in his final season. He was also named a senior class first team All-American and Pac-12 Scholar Athlete of the Year in 2015. Stanford has seemed to have a lock on that award over the years, by the way, continuing into the ACC. He was also a three-time Pac-12 All-Academic selection. He played 4 seasons in the NBA while also a member of 2 championship teams in the NBA's G League, along with EuroLeague, Liga ACB, and the NBL. Chasson is the 44th Hall of Fame inductee for men's basketball and the first since Art Lee 2 years ago. Please welcome and congratulate Chasson Randle.
Good evening, everybody. It's amazing how, you can play in front of thousands and get nervous when you get up here to give a speech. First, I'd like to say thank you to God for putting me in position throughout my life. Without him, none of this would be possible. I'd like to thank the university and the selection committee for their nomination. It's an honor to be here with all the other phenomenal inductees. Thank you to my village. All of you have played a major part in my development as a person and as a player. And tonight is a celebration of not just my achievements, but a celebration of the love and care that you all have shed. When I first started playing the game of basketball, I didn't have a clue about all the places that it could take me. I just knew that plastic hoop on my door. Your mom, you know what I'm talking about. I kept you up all times of the night. And the swish sound that I got from the net, it gave me a feeling of pure bliss. I was in love with it, and I found any excuse to get more. So that's what I did. I chased my round basketball, and with it, my dreams. From the driveway, through the streets of Rock Island, across state lines and oceans, and eventually all the way to Palo Alto, California. As a kid from the Midwest, I was in awe at my first visit to the Bay Area. The palm trees, the weather. I'm married now, but the women. It was a lot to love, a lot to love. It's here where I had some of the most impactful and transformative years of my life. Stanford truly is a special place filled with an incredible collection of intelligent and talented people who come from different walks of life, but share similar qualities and traits. It was a privilege to be able to represent the program and my family while always being my authentic self. Long hair and all. And it was a tremendous honor walking in the footsteps of the Stanford greats that came before me. With 2 NIT championships in a Sweet 16 during my 4 years, I think my teammates and I were able to get men's basketball back into the college hoops conversation nationwide, and that's something I'm very proud of. But with these accomplishments, Stanford taught me to dream beyond just Division I basketball. Here at Stanford, dreams don't just stop when you reach them, they grow. Every single person I met was on a path for achieving better and higher, and that's something that motivated me and still does to this day. Now that I've gone on to play professionally in the NBA and in some of the top leagues across the world, on every continent, except for Antarctica. If you guys know a team that's playing over there, let me know. I'd love to suit up. Still active. I've shared the floor in locker rooms with players that I looked up to as a child, and when I sit back and think about it, it sometimes still puts me in a moment of shock. Despite some setbacks and challenges within my career, I've continued to persevere because I'm reminded that the dream is bigger than myself. I've got eyes on me, little eyes now. I've got 2 little ones. Sorry for the disturbance and noise. Trust me, I'm trying. Being a dad is a lot harder than shooting threes. I've got the city of Rock Island rooting for me, and I've got the University of Stanford to represent, which is something that I don't take lightly. I hope to inspire the next kid with a ball in their hands as the people in my life have inspired me. Mom, thank you. You instilled confidence in me as early as I can remember. You always taught me the importance of education first, oftentimes having me recite mantras and chants before I went to school. What's your purpose? To get my education. Without you, we know Stanford wouldn't be possible at all. And Dad, you put the ball in my hands. You fed my competitive spirit, challenging me to be and do my best, even when I didn't feel my best. You're my best friend, and I hope that I can instill some of the values that you've given me into my son. To my eldest sister, Keisha, thank you for paving the way for the rest of us. To my baby sister, Kalia, you've always kept me on my toes. I'm super proud of all that you've accomplished as a nurse. My coaches here at Stanford, can't thank you enough. Coach Dawkins, Coach Payne, who's here tonight, Coach Shragi, Coach O'Toole. Again, like I said, I can't thank you guys enough for believing in me and offering me the chance to play for you. There's a lot of lessons that I learned from you guys along the way. You taught me how to be a pro. And Coach Payne, since you're here, I'll share the quote that I remember that you gave me is, sometimes you're the pigeon and sometimes you're the statue. I'll let you guys think about that one. My teammates, there are many of you that I could name, but the upperclassmen in particular, especially from the guard position, played my position. Gabe Harris, Jared Mann, Anthony Brown, and Aaron Bright in particular. We battled in practice every day, and you guys made me stronger, physically, mentally. You beat me up every single day, but you'd always take care of me after, whether that was a meal or going to get, once we were 21, a drink down the road. John Arriaga, rest in peace. Thank you for sponsoring my scholarship and reminding me to keep my head up and admiring all the beauty that's around me. Stanford has a lot to offer, and he reminded me of that. I'd also like to thank Tom Barnes for hosting me in the summers. Spent a lot of time in that pool and soaking up the sun, so thank you. I gotta thank the Bros. for their friendship and fellowship and being supportive. And thank you to my cousins, aunts, trainers, and many more supporters here who have all had a lasting impact on me. And last but not least, my wife. Thank you for being my rock and an amazing mother to our children, and for holding me down the past 10 years. We met my senior year, and you being a Cal Bear, I was a little skeptical. But you stole my heart nonetheless, and it's been a blast ever since. Thank you to our parents, who are also Cal grads. And to have them celebrating a bunch of Stanford athletes is a moment I'll cherish forever, for sure. I can't say thank you enough. It all started with a dream for me, as I mentioned before, in the game that I love to play. I pray that everyone here has a dream and shoots for it and achieves it. And after you do, pay it forward and continue to dream even bigger. Thank you, guys.
Jason, I didn't realize you'd married a Cal girl. That's fine. If it had been USC, we would have had to talk, so that's fine. All right, our 10th and final inductee of the night is also the second honoree of this year's class from Stanford football. We welcome the accomplishments of Bay St. Louis, Mississippi's own Tank Williams. From a Rose Bowl starter for Stanford in 1999 to second-team All-Pac-10 in 2000 to first-team All-American in 2001. Tank's size, speed, physicality, and smarts helped make him Stanford's first-ever defensive back to be named first-team All-American. Tank picked off 5 passes for that 2001 squad, and don't forget, folks, that was a team that notched Stanford's second 9-win season over the previous 50 years. That was a pretty special squad. Tank's 9 career interceptions ranked tied for 10th in school history. He was selected in the second round, number 45 overall, of the 2002 NFL Draft by the Tennessee Titans. He finished 4th in the 2002 AP Defensive Rookie of the Year voting that season. And over a 7-year career with the Titans, the Minnesota Vikings, and the New England Patriots, Tank played in 70 games, he made 59 starts, and he produced 5 interceptions and 283 total tackles. Tank is also back now on the farm in a coaching capacity, now in his second season as a defensive quality control analyst with Stanford football. Not sure if he can exactly teach him how he used to tackle back in the day, otherwise there'll be a lot more 15-yard penalty flags and all those sorts of things, because Tank was a bad dude on the football field. He is the 101st Hall of Fame inductee from football, joining David DeCastro. Here he is. Welcome and congratulate Tank Williams.
Thank you, Troy, for saving me from my kids. Well, one in particular. To the distinguished guests, all the inductees, their friends, family, my friends and family who have arrived, I would like to welcome you here and also say, what's happening? So that's how I greet my Stanford football family daily, and anyone who has, navigated this unique experience that we call the farm. I consider you my family, so that's why I greet you that way. Family is extremely important to me, and family is the reason that I'm here today. My parents, they didn't stress education, they threatened education. if you don't get good grades, you're not playing ball. And obviously, I love to play ball, so I got good grades, and here I am standing today. And I think one of those things that really stands out to me, too, is that it's just so special that I had this opportunity because the coaches who were at Stanford at that time, Coach Tyrone Willingham, and specifically my recruiting coach, Coach Phil Zacharias, they saw something in me. I'm a young kid growing up in Mississippi, and you know, the education system isn't that great. They never actually saw me play football in person. I was the last scholarship offer of my class, and what was unique about that, they actually offered someone else. That kid backed out. He went to Notre Dame. And they had to decide between 3 guys, and they chose me. And that was a life-changing moment for me, and so for Coach Willingham, Coach Zach, and everyone who was involved in that decision that changed not only my life, but my entire family's life forever. I appreciate you guys. To my teammates, Seahouse! I mean, the years at Stanford were truly, truly, truly special. I mean, we had some great times. We weren't dominating the Pac-12 or Pac-10 the way that Andrew and DeCastro and those guys did during their era, but we did have an opportunity to go and play in the first Rose Bowl in over 30 years that Stanford had made. The last time was during Jim Plunkett in those years. We were actually fortunate enough to have Jim Plunkett as our honorary captain a couple of weeks ago. And so just being able to live out my dream of playing college football amongst so many legends was truly special. I think my teammates are, you know, the reason why I'm standing here today. When I first arrived on the farm as a defensive back, I actually had to play quarterback my freshman camp. And a few of my boys were wide receivers that were in my class, and trust me, they let me know every day how bad my arm was and how I needed to play safety and not quarterback. So once the veterans got there and I actually transitioned to safety, I let them know why Stanford recruited me to be a safety. They definitely gave me some motivation, but we had some great times over those years, had some great wins, and I truly cherish all the moments I had with all my boys at Stanford, and y'all were particularly a reason why this place is so special to me. After Stanford, I played 7 years in the NFL, graduated, felt like I needed to put my Stanford degree to use, and so I started working in commercial real estate, started my own residential development company, but then in 2021, my father passed away. And that moment, like, really, really impacted me. It took me a long time to get over the loss of him because he was just so special to me. He was the one who put that love of football first in my heart, and then he was the first one to put a ball in my hand. And after I lost my father, I felt like I lost my way for a little bit. But I went back to his funeral, and a lot of his former players showed up, and they talked about the impact that he had on their lives and how special he was to them, how he was a father figure to them, and how he still shaped them to this day. And I felt that that was a calling to me. Even though I was working in real estate, I actually worked in media for a while for Yahoo Sports, I wasn't really feeling fulfilled. And so I got the itch to come back to Stanford, rejoin my Stanford family, and join the coaching staff. And I tell you, that's like every day I get to step on campus, it's like one of the most rewarding days in my life. Stanford is a huge part of who I am today. A lot of you maybe met your significant other if you married someone from Stanford in the dorm, like Andrew. I met my wife in Vegas. But she's still Stanford, and it still worked out. And because of her, I have 2 wonderful boys, one who's here, who's been tearing up the auditorium. Chasson, I feel you. Being a father is hard, it's real, but I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. And my youngest is back home because he would just be yanking someone's hair out right now if he was in the house. But getting the opportunity to come here every day and impact the young lives of our Stanford men is truly special. I mean, it's a privilege that I do not take for granted, not one bit, because I know how special and life-changing that offer for me to come to Stanford was. And to have some young kids on our squad right now who are from my area and understanding how life-changing that moment is for them, whether they go and play in the NFL or not. Just the opportunity to come here to Stanford, and iron sharpens iron, whether it's between the white lines on the basketball court, on the field, in the pool, or in the classroom. You're challenging yourself. You're competing against some of the brightest minds in the world and some of the greatest athletes. And I believe those moments that we have here at Stanford truly shape us and define us and turn us into the people that we are today, and impact not only us, our families, and the people that we come into contact with. And so just having those moments with our guys on a daily basis is truly special. And so I'd like to thank Stanford University, Andrew, everyone who was involved in that decision to allow me to come back to a place that I really call home. And so I'm going to end it off with that. I appreciate everyone who was involved in, bestowing this opportunity and this honor upon me. When Andrew first told me, I actually thought I was getting punked. And honestly, until I stepped into this microphone, I still thought I was getting punked. But now that I'm here, and Donahoe is going to come up here and give me that award here shortly, you can't get rid of me now. I'm here. So thank you all. Have a good night. Go Stanford. Also came straight from the practice field, so I didn't see everyone who arrived. I know some of my boys are here, but everyone that I get the opportunity to see beforehand, thank you for making the trip out. Thank you to my sister for bringing my mom out here, my boy AC who came from Minnesota, so many friends and family. I appreciate y'all coming out here and supporting me. Definitely appreciate it.
Tank Williams, how about that? One more time. Wasn't this fun? Or maybe the best quote of the night, one of many, by the way. Aren't we lucky? Couple quick items of business as that puts a wrap on these festivities here in this room. Reminder to all the inductees, please stick around for a brief moment. We'll welcome you back to the stage. Got to take the group photo, get the selfies in, all those sorts of neat things, post them to the gram and all that sort of stuff. Everyone else, the reception is underway on the concourse. Have a great time. Enjoy yourselves. Congratulations once again, the Stanford Athletics class of 2025. Thank you for being here tonight. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, and go Stanford.